Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You guys are used to me having a game in the background, and I would have my head, like my face cam would be like this small, and then for this video, it's like my face is this fucking big, and I have a big ass comment beside my head right here. But for this video, we're pretty much going to talk about this right here. Like when I first saw this comment, I'm like, no, there's no way somebody typed this. This is actually crazy. But let's talk about it. I feel like this comment can bring, discussions, conversation, and doing these type of videos. I feel like doing these type of videos are pretty interesting because it can bring, the community together and people can have a conversation, and discuss things in the comment section down below. Just because I'm not playing the game doesn't mean that I won't sometimes make videos talking about the community. You know what I'm saying? Because who doesn't want to do that? So after I made that TOG video of me not playing the game anymore, I will say like 75% of my community, my viewers, you guys reacted positively. Some of you guys said, I understand why you quit. I disagree with some of your statements, but I respect it, which is dope. I mean, if you disagree with my reasons as to why I left the game, totally fine. Everybody has their own opinion. And, some people, of course, they were just rage baiting, just trying to, get attention. And I just ignored them. I was like, well, whatever, bro. But this comment right here, I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this because this is insane. So let's go ahead and read it. I'm just going to read the whole thing and we're just going to break it down one by one. Okay, haven't tried Ash Echoes, but those two other games are definitely not free-to-play friendly. Every gacha game is free-to-play friendly when you first start off because they are trying to get you hooked. Tower of God New World consistently gives you lots of resources to save, and if you use it on the right characters, you can have a meta team very easily. This game takes about $300 to max out a family head if you didn't save, which is the most expensive thing in the game. Go play Genshin or Wuwa and go max out a character, and it will be way more than that, plus you need to also get their signature weapon. Spent $300 on Dragon Ball Legends and first anniversary and didn't get a single copy of Purple Vegito. Not saying these gacha tactics are prices are okay, just saying that for a gacha game, this is the most free-to-play friendly I played. Trust me, the grass isn't always greener. Good luck. Nothing wrong with trying another games or feeling burnt out, but completely raging. I think he spelled raging wrong, but raging on his game because you got shafted on Alice Banner, isn't it? So let's go ahead and talk about it. So before I even read this, I 100% disagree with everything this person said. Like everything they said was just false in so many ways, and I feel like so many people can actually understand why I say that. So for the first part, I mean, he said he hasn't tried Ash Echoes. That's good. I mean, the fact that he stated that first, good. And he said, but those two other games are definitely not free to play friendly. So he's pretty much responding to my comment when somebody asked me which game would I recommend them to play, and I told them they should play Ash Echo, Solo Leveling, and Girls Frontline 2. So he's pretty much saying that Solo Leveling and Girls Frontline 2, they are pretty much not free to play friendly. That is not true, my boy. That is not true. And the reason why that is not true at all is because for Solo Leveling Arise, when the game first came out, I would agree with this guy if he said this a couple months ago, like when the game first released. I would agree with him. But the reason why I disagree now is because the game pretty much got a rework. Like the devs literally took the game and they shuffled it up and they fixed it. That's the main reason why so many players, including me, were returning to the game. Because now the amount of rewards and resources they're giving to, returning players is absolutely crazy. And another thing as well is when you're progressing in the story for Solo Leveling, for Tower of God New World, when you're progressing through the story, you're pretty much just getting normal summon tickets, which is just 10 normal summon tickets. Meanwhile, in Solo Leveling, when you're progressing in the story mode, you're getting summon tickets, but at the same time, they're giving you gear to put on your characters. And it's not trash gear, it's actually high rarity gear. I literally did a live stream. I can show you guys a clip right now of me getting high rare gear. Stories, you have to do some fights. Did they fix this? Like, did they actually change this? Where you no longer have to do battles inside? Yeah, so not only did they not only did they give me high rarity gear, they gave me essence stones. Essence stones is pretty much a suspendium. They gave me 3,000 essence stones, and you need to have like 2,500 to do a multi-summon. So they gave me a lot of essence stones, and they also gave me a ton of summon tickets. I think it was 30 in that screen recording. Maybe it was 30 or 40, I don't know. But they gave me like so many pulls just because I progressed through the story. It was just one chapter, one act. One act I got like around 30 summon tickets, 3,000 essence stones, gear to level up my characters, make my characters stronger. It's insane. So saying that, soul leveling is not free to play friendly, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this guy is not playing soul leveling currently as of to right now, because the game received a huge rework. So I completely disagree with him saying that soul leveling is not free to play friendly. It is. And another thing is, you don't need to max out characters in soul leveling to receive, like, in order for you to receive their full value. You don't really have to do that. Like, when you get a character, some characters are good with 0 dupes, some characters are good with 1 dupe. In that game, it is very unique because some characters are useful at different levels. Like, they're useful, let's say, with 1 copy, they're really good with 3 copies. But there is not one character, like, there's not a single time where you have to summon for a unit and 100% max them out in order for you to progress in the game efficiently. No, it's just a choice. You can choose to do that if you want, but you don't have to do that. Meanwhile, in Tower of God New World, it's like if you're in like the mid game, in, like, let's say floor 80 for example, and there's a new character that released and you want that character and you want to use that character in floor 80. If you don't have that character at least 4 orange stars, you're not going to have the revolution, right? Because revolution makes the character 10 times more busted, and the character is not going to be able to keep up because they're going to get one tap by the enemy because of the deficit difference. So Tower of God New World, it's like you actually have to get copies on that character. You have to get a lot of copies. Meanwhile, soul leveling, you don't have to. It's a choice. If you want to get more copies, it's mainly because you want to have a higher score for like leaderboards, or you just want to have a better performance. But other than that, you don't have to have max copies on the character to perform efficiently on solo leveling. So once again, completely disagree. And I don't know if this guy's playing solo leveling or not. If he is, that's kind of a weird take, because if you were playing solo leveling, you wouldn't know that the game is literally not pay to win. It is free to play friendly. They rework the game. That's why there's a lot of people returning to the game, because the game is a lot better now. And a matter of fact, the community criticized the devs. They told the devs, you guys need to fix this game because it's pay to win. Solo leveling was pay to win as hell. And then they're like, all right, guys, we understand. We're going to fix the game. And they did. And the game is a lot better. So solo leveling, I disagree with that. Now, for the next part, he talked about Girls Frontline 2 because he said both games are not free to play friendly, and he's including Girls Frontline 2. Once again, not true. Girls Frontline 2, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Pride Win tier list right here. So for the Pride Win tier list, you guys can see for these characters, they have V0 next to their names, and V0 pretty much means 0 dupes. So in this game, literally, if you have this character right here, Tsuyomi, you don't have to max out any character in the game. And even if you don't have her, you still don't need dupes on characters in order for them to work. Some characters, yes, but most of the characters, not really. And when you take a look at this tier list compared to the TOG tier list, two completely different things. And you guys might say, well, this is the early and mid game. No, actually, we have the late and end game as well. For the late and end game, you guys can see that SR characters are literally good. Like, SR characters are actually valuable in this game. She has V6 next to her name, and SR characters are really easy to max out because, they're SR units. You don't need to spend money to max out SR characters. They're really easy to get. The chances of you getting them, really common. So Sharkrai, this unit, I made a video talking about this character. She's a menace. She is absolutely insane. She's very strong in burn team comp. Very good unit. So saying that, Girls Frontline 2 is not free to play friendly, simply not true, because every unit in the game is usable at 0 dupes. It's just that there are some characters that in order for you to receive their full value, in order for you to see them at their full potential, they have to be at certain dupes in order for you to have good game, like in order for you to have like in order for these characters to perform efficiently in the end or late game. But that's not every single character. Like I would say it's probably 2 or 3 characters that need certain amount of dupes to work. Meanwhile, the rest of them perfectly fine. Tsuyomi, this character makes the game broken. She makes the game easy. As long as you have this character, you don't even have to have her weapon. As long as you have Tsuyomi, you beat the content, you beat the game. That's how busted this unit is. So yeah, that statement where he said Girls Frontline 2 Exilium is not free to play friendly, obviously not true. Don't know where you got that information from, but that's simply not true because you can also max out SR characters in events. There is an event in the game right now where you can pretty much max out an SR character, and that is Loda. This character, you can max her out for free, and she is good. She is a solid unit. So yeah, I don't know where you got that from. I don't know. That was weird. That was a weird take. Now, for next part right here, he says this game takes about $300 to max out a family head if you didn't save, which is the most expensive thing in the game. Now, I don't think we're on the same page here because he's talking about something else completely different. He's talking about, the game is more free to play friendly because $300 is the most expensive thing, like the most expensive banner in the game. And I'm like, well, that's not really my point. My point is, in order for you to pretty much max out these characters, is either you spend money or you sacrifice your account progression and skip all these units just for family head. Because if you're trying to save up for family head, you're gonna have to skip a ton of characters because the family head banner is expensive as fuck. It is mad expensive. The main reason why I maxed out Chamaray so I can show you guys an example, I can show you guys how many pulls it takes to max out a family head, and it took over $300. I think it was like 375 bucks. It was insane. So you have 2 choices. It's either you spend money, right? And if you want to spend money, you can pretty much summon for every other character because at the end of the day, you're going to spend money for family head. So you don't have to worry about sacrificing your progression, which means that you're not really being free to play. You're pretty much spending money on a game, which means you're pay to win. Or you can skip every single SSR plus character before that family head unit releases. And while you're doing that, you're pretty much slowing down your account progression just for that one family head character. And remember, they're only going to release family head characters probably like once or twice a year. So you mean to tell me that in order for you, like what your plan is that you want to slow your account progression for like 3 or 4 years just for like 4 or 5 family head units? I don't think that's a good deal. And to help you guys understand what I'm talking about, for solo leveling, let's say there's a future upcoming character that's going to be broken as hell and he's going to be a limited character. His banner is going to be up for like, let's say 21 days. The banners on that game last for, I think 2 or 3 weeks. It's for a pretty long time, which is pretty solid. But the good thing about that game is that you can still get SSR units in the standard banner. Well, the same thing applies to Tower of God New World. You can use your normal summon ticket, summon, and you can get an SSR plus unit. But the chances of you getting an SSR plus unit on the normal summon banner is so non-existent. Like the rates are actually horrible. That's the main reason why the devs decided to make black market in the special summon banner. But for solo leveling, they literally give you the option to create a wish list. And in this wish list, you can select 4 things. You can, not 4 things, but 2 things. A character and a weapon. You can select all 4 characters, or you can select 2 characters and 2 weapons, or you can select 3 characters and 1 weapon, whatever you want to do. And the pity is 80 pity, and there is a soft pity. So the fact that they're giving us a ton of normal summon tickets through story, you're pretty much getting more SSR units consistently in like, let's say 2 or 3 days by just simply progressing through the story. It's insane. So like I said, this guy is just not on the same page with me because he's talking about, Tower of God New World is more free to play friendly because the most amount of like the max amount of money you have to spend on family head is 300, and that's the most expensive thing. Meanwhile, for other games, banners will cost more than 300, and it's like, well, you're not sacrificing your account progression to summon on those banners, and you don't need to max out those characters in order for you to receive their true value, in order for you to see them at their true potential. Meanwhile, in Tower of God, it's like, okay, if you don't max out a character, like say Chamaray, for example, if you're using him as 0 dupes, he's going to get 1 tapped. So it's like you have no choice but to invest a lot in these units. So Like, you guys see where I'm coming from, right? It's like saying that 300 is the max, and for other games it's more. It's not a good point because you're not forced to spend money on those other games. You're not forced to summon on those banners. Meanwhile, for Family Head, it's like if you have the opportunity to max them out, good, but at what cost? Now we continue. He says, go play Genshin or Wuwa and go max out a character, and it will be way more than that. Plus, you need to also get their signature weapon. This statement right here is 100% false because you don't need to get a signature weapon for characters. You don't need to summon 4 signature weapons because there are 4-star characters that you can get, not 4-star characters, but 4-star weapons you can get for free, and you can max them out by playing an event. And when you're summoning 4 characters, you are also getting 4-star weapons as well. So saying that you need to get their signature weapon is not true. You don't need to get a signature weapon to make a character in Genshin or Wuwa good. That's just false. That's not true at all. And then when it comes to Genshin and Wuwa characters, Genshin is literally the easiest game I've played in my entire life. You can beat that game with a 4-star character. You can beat that game with a 4-star team. It's an easy game. So meta really doesn't even matter in Genshin or Wuwa. I will say for Wuwa, not really. Only with like the tactical, the bosses, those guys are on a whole different level. But Wuwa overall, free to play friendly game because you don't need to max out every character. You don't need to max out units to progress in the game efficiently. That's just not true. And once again, these are open world games. Comparing an open world game to an idle game is just not a good thing because for open world games, you have the ability to control your character. You can leave battles, you can leave fights whenever you want. Meanwhile, when it comes to idle games, you only have one option. You press the battle button, you go in and you get your ass whooped. You can't leave the fight. If you leave the fight, you lost the battle. Meanwhile, for open world, you can do so many cheesy tactics. You can leave fights, come back, stun enemies. For Genshin, you can like freeze enemies. You can literally freeze enemies in Genshin. You can freeze them. Some of them are immune to freeze like bosses, but you can also do co-op in the game, play with other players, beat bosses. Like, comparing an open world game to an idle game is just never a good comparison because those are 2 completely different games. And open world games are always easier than idle games, and you don't need to max out characters, and you don't need their signature weapon to receive their true value. So Genshin, Wuwa, using that to using that as a comparison to Top Got New World, that's a bad comparison. I mean, if you guys think I'm lying, I mean, it literally says it right here. It says you can beat Wuthering Waves with primarily 4-star characters, as many players report that the 4-star roster is strong enough to clear most content in the game, with proper team composition and character building being key factors. However, some of the more difficult challenges might require a 5-star character for optimal performance. So the base game, Wuthering Waves, like, you can beat the entire game with just 4-star units. You don't need a 5-star character to beat the whole game. What if you want to like have a better performance, if you want to do speed runs, then yes, of course 5-star characters are going to perform better. But like I said, it's optional, it's not a requirement. Meanwhile, for Top Got New World, you can't say, well, I'm going to use SR characters and reach floor 100 with SR characters only. Like, that's delusional. That's not going to happen. It's either you use SSR supports and tanks with SSR plus DPS characters, or you don't, and you don't progress at all. So, like I said, Tower of God New World, you don't really have a choice when it comes to progression. Like, I will say, the meta consists of one thing. You maxing out meta DPS characters and pairing them up with insane broken support units like Albelda in order for you to progress really well. Even though the progression system, in my opinion, is just terrible. But that's like one of the main things in Tower of God New World, and there's no buts or ifs when it comes to that. Meanwhile, when it comes to Wuthering Waves and Genshin, you can literally use 4-star characters and easily breeze through the game. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. He says, good luck to you as well. Nothing wrong with trying another game or feeling burned out. Thank you for actually understanding that. You see, it was kind of disappointing how some people didn't understand this when I made that video. And you guys won't believe this, after I made that video when I was talking about how Tower of God New World is a dead game, somebody sent me a message on Discord, and I was like, there is no way there is a grown-ass adult behind that cell phone or computer typing that shit to me. It was crazy. The person was going on a rant I wouldn't be surprised if they were crying behind their PC or phone. It was insane. Like, he was like, "You betrayed me. You betrayed all of us. Why would you leave the game? This and that." And I was like, "Yo, chill out, bro." Like, if I no longer enjoy something, I'm not gonna force myself to make content on something I no longer enjoy. You're just gonna, you're just gonna watch a Faros who, a moody Faros. That's it. You're gonna watch a moody Faros, bad vibes. I'm always gonna be toxic. I'm like, man, this game is trash. Like, do you guys seriously want to see me complain and bitch 24/7 about the game? No. So I'm not gonna do that. Therefore, that's why I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I made that video and that's it. Plain and simple. And like I said, if the devs fix the game, I might come back. I told you guys in that video, if the devs fix the game, message me and tell me, spam me on Discord. I might come back. Because the reason why I'm doing this is because I want them to fix the game. That's the main reason why I made that video. I made that video so that, as an influencer, content creator, I have a huge influence in the community. And by making that video, it's probably gonna make Netmarble, get back on track. Hopefully, some people actually are motivated to, review bomb the game so that they'll do better. That's the reason why I'm doing this. So thank you for actually understanding that. And he says, but completely raging on his game because you got shafted on Alice Banner, isn't it? Now this part right here, I was like, bro, what? So now I have to react a certain way when I'm summoning for characters. I can no longer show my genuine reaction. I have to, force a reaction so that you can be satisfied. I'm sorry, bro, that's not gonna happen. I'm an unhinged I won't say I'm an unhinged person, but I am a truthful and honest person, and I am not going to force a fake reaction to satisfy you. That's just not going to happen. So unfortunately, I'm sorry that I couldn't satisfy, your needs. I don't know, but I'm not going to force a reaction out of myself just to satisfy you. That's not how I work. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Too bad. I don't know. But overall, to whoever wrote this comment, whoever typed this comment down, shout out to you. You are the MVP of this video. You are in the spotlight. So thanks to you, I got some content, which is dope. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. And once again, I'm doing this because I want the game to be better. If you are defending a company that doesn't care about you, what do you gain from that? Nothing. You don't gain anything. And a matter of fact, you receive bad treatment because the devs, if they see that you are not going to, give them feedback or criticism that can ruin their reputation, they're going to be like, you know what? Let's continue doing this because they're not going to say anything about it. So let's continue. You don't gain anything from it. But when you're criticizing the game, guess what? The devs will make better choices. The devs will make the game better because they know that actions have consequences. If you do something, there's a consequence. If you do something and if there is no consequence, you're going to continue doing it because nobody is holding you accountable. And that's the reason why I am doing this. I am holding Netmarble accountable that they can make the game better. Like, don't you guys want the game to be better? For all the Child God New World fans, don't you guys want the game to be better? Because that's all I'm doing. I want the game to be better. Isn't that what you guys want? So why are some people so triggered that I want the game to be better? Why are so many people so triggered that I want to see the game at its full potential? I will never understand. So yeah, man, it's just weird to me, man. It's really weird. And one thing I also noticed is that there are some whales who, like, whenever I'm looking out for free-to-play players, they will be like, oh, fuck free-to-play players, we don't care about them. Like, bro, what type of attitude is that, man? Like, come on, guys, let's be mature here. It's a fucking gacha game. It's not about free-to-play players, whales, and all this bullshit. Like, let's fucking relax, man. Let's chill out, all right? It's childish as hell. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.